Welcome to the Northeast Mississippi Scouting Report, basketball playoff edition. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's kind of like what we did during the football season. Get a coach each week and talk to him about his team and the season, how things are going. This week we've got Tupelo boys coach David Ball. David, appreciate you joining us. David in his 6th year as Tupelo head coach, and right now his Golden Wave 17-6 heading into the Region 2-5A tournament at Columbus, which starts on Tuesday. Get to play Columbus, Coach. We'll get to that in a minute, but before the season, you knew one thing you did not have was height.
Right.
You lost guys like Paul Colheim and Santez Johnson. I think your tallest player is what, 6'3"?
6'3", Desmond Gardner.
Desmond Gardner. So they've kind of surprised some people, but have they surprised you?
Not really. I knew that we were going to be able to score, which has been a problem for us, the last few years, especially perimeter scoring. So I knew that, we could put up some points in a hurry. I knew that we'd be quick. When you're small, you got to be quick, and I knew we would be quick. I thought maybe we could create turnovers and get easy buckets, and then the easy buckets, along with the way we shoot the ball, I felt like we could score enough to stay in ball games. But you still don't know, being as small as we are and competing in 5A, and our schedule and the big men that we played against, you knew that there was going to be times that you were just going to struggle keeping people off the boards. We worked hard at it, blocking out drills and stuff that we could make sure that we got a body between them and the rim. But sometimes when you put a 5'9" body between a 6'9" and the rim, it just get rebounds over the back. So that's been a problem for us this year. But when we were defending well, I felt like we had a chance to beat. When we're shooting it well, and we got a chance to beat anybody. But when being small like we are, anybody's got a chance to beat you if you have an off night.
How has being small helped, though, maybe? In a way?
Well, the game is, with that three-point line, the game's gone to guards. It's all about guards. You look at the teams that are successful, they got great guard play. And so we felt like our guard play was probably going to be the best that it's been since I've been here. And it has been through the year. They've played extremely well. Our turnovers are at a minimum, the way we execute, and able to run a lot of sets. When you've got good shooters, people want to try and take them away. So you got to do more stuff to get them shots, and we have, and the kids have responded well to that, and they execute extremely well and do a good job with it.
Like you said, you got some good shooters from outside. Matt Foster and Jamie Ingram, I think are shooting around 50%.
Right at 50%. Matt is, I think, 40. Going into Friday, I don't think I've got it in the stats, but he was right at 48%. And he had a great shooting night Friday, and Jamie was like 46%. So both of them are. That's hitting half the shots you take. That's incredible.
Yeah. Who else has been really stepped up
Zeke
this year?
Newhouse has shot the ball extremely well for us. Probably Desmond has been the workhorse, but he's been with me for 3 years now, and I knew you put him on the court, he's going to go as hard as he can. He's going to take the charge. He's going to do the grunt work. He's going to be in the middle doing all the difficult things. So he was the least of my worries. I knew what I was going to get out of him. I knew that he would compete no matter how big the person he was guarding was going to be. I think Chris Lockridge, he was a great defender for us last year and provides a lot of quickness. He's kind of come on real strong, and he's taking care of the ball. He's cut his turnovers down. That was always one of his weaknesses. And Devin Shannon, the guard play of point guard play of Devin Shannon and Zeke Newhouse. And little Zeke, the kids call him Superman. He's probably 5'8", 5'9". If you walked in this room, little curly-haired white kid that stands about this tall, you wouldn't picture him as being a 5'8" point guard, but yet he goes on the court. And I remember the first time he went on the court against, we were playing Briarcrest, and the big kid that's, I think he's going to Duke. He got an offer from Duke the week before we played him, and the coach thought he was going to go ahead and commit. And I haven't heard from it, but you could see him. He went out there, and that kid's 6'6", and he just kind of looked at Zeke, he looked at one of his buddies, and just kind of grinned and laughed. It wasn't long that he went right by him and shot a layup. And it's just, that's the kind of player that he is. He won't listen when people tell him he's too small to play basketball.
Yeah. Kind of been that's been the thing with your team. People kind of maybe
a lot of naysayers going into this year, talking about Coach Ball's going to be tough without Paul. Coach Ball's going to be tough. You don't have them big boys anymore. But in the back of my mind, I knew the teams that gave us fits were small, quick teams that could shoot the ball extremely well. And then you've got to keep them from getting to the rim. So in the back of my mind, I was thinking, wait, we are that team that used to drive me nuts when I saw them coming, because I knew that the matchups were going to be just terrible to deal with. We create a lot of matchup problems for people.
Well, your matchup tomorrow night, Coach, in the 2-5A tournament is Columbus. You split with them in the regular season. You got to go to their place. They're hosting. Talk about that matchup.
Well, first of all, you got to talk about where it is. It's at Columbus,
Yeah.
and that's a difficult thing in and of itself. Going to Columbus, you never know what you're going to see when you get down there, and what you're going to experience when you get down there. And, you know, it's just going on the road in 5A. You're not right next door, so you don't get the same officials. It's a different officiating crews. Like when you play at Nettleton or Shannon, they're the same officials over there that you would have here. So it's the same crews that you see. But when you make these long trips, to start one long trips to South Panola and Columbus, you get a different crew that you're not familiar with, and you never know how that's going to go. But you have to deal with it. And then it's one of those tough road games, and it's Columbus, and Columbus is always athletic. We split in the regular season. I thought early in the year we played extremely well. Probably our worst game of the year. You know, the first, I told the boys after the game, probably the only time I felt embarrassed by their play. I didn't think it, you know, we were lethargic, we didn't play hard, and that's uncharacteristic of this team. We had a lot going on. Coach Pate and I both were sick that week, you know, just showing up to practice and not coming to school. And then I didn't want to be on the bus with the boys, so I drove down there, got down there right at the game time. And so there's a lot of negative going on there. So hopefully we can turn it around. I mean, it's a tough call. That's 5A.
Yeah.
You know, 1A through 4A, they're bringing 4 out, and you got a 7 or 8 team region.
Yeah.
That means these first games that you play to get out.
Yeah.
So 1 against 8, 2 against 7, a 3 against 6. In 5A, you got 4 really good teams, and your first games to get out. Last 2 years we've drawn Grenada with Phil Turner, and you know, I mean, that's just a tough draw. Your first game in 5A is against a real good team, even if you're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
You know, last year Starkville had to play Columbus, and it was a 3-point game for them to get out. And so that's just the difficulty of 5A. Getting out is a lot tougher in 5A than it is in, say, the other classifications. Where if you have a great year like we've had, if we were in another classification, our first game would be a 7 seed or an 8 seed, being the number 1 or 2 seed coming out. But instead, man, we've got a Columbus that's won, I don't know their exact record, but it's close to 20 wins.
They're not bad, yeah.
And they've had a good year, a real good year. So, you know, that's your draw. You take it and you deal with it. And you prepare as best you can, and you go down and give your best shot.
And a win for Tupelo would get them qualified, I believe, for the North Half.
Right.
And again, that's tomorrow night, Tuesday, Tupelo against Columbus. At Columbus, the Tupelo Lady Wave also playing tomorrow night against
They play Starkville at 4.
Starkville at 4 o'clock. So, Coach Ball, again, thank you for joining us on the Scouting Report, Basketball Playoff Edition. Be sure to check out the Daily Journal every day this week for your full high school division tournament coverage. And thanks for joining us.